Welcome to this video. What if I told you that the Bible, as we know it, is only part of a much larger story? What if ancient writings exist that reveal hidden insights about creation, the patriarchs, and even God's ultimate plan? Welcome to a deep dive into one of the most mysterious and controversial texts in history, the Book of Jubilees. Also known as the Little Genesis, this book contains revelation so profound that it was banned by the early church. Why was the Book of Jubilees excluded? What makes it so dangerous, so revolutionary, that most Christian traditions have ignored it? In this video, we'll uncover everything. We'll unravel hidden secrets, delve into apocalyptic prophecies, and explore how this book might completely change the way we understand the Bible. But beware, this won't be just a simple history lesson. This will be an exciting adventure. So stick around, because this is a journey you don't want to miss. Let's start at the beginning, creation. In Genesis, we read that God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days and rested on the seventh. But the Book of Jubilees adds something you don't want to overlook. It claims that God didn't just create the physical world, He also created the structure of time itself. Here's where it gets intriguing. Jubilees introduces a solar calendar consisting of exactly 364 days. Why is that significant? According to Jubilees, this calendar aligns perfectly with God's divine order. Each season consists of precisely 91 days, and sacred days, like the Sabbath and festivals, always fall into their rightful place. The book asserts that the lunar calendar, which many ancient cultures followed, is a distortion of this holy time. Jubilees warns that following the wrong calendar can throw us spiritually off balance. In Jubilees, angels aren't just messengers as we often imagine. They are architects of the cosmos, guardians of creation, and teachers of humanity. They were created on the very first day of creation and have played a crucial role ever since. What's fascinating is that these angels don't merely exist above us. According to Jubilees, they have directly intervened in human life. The book describes how angels appeared to Adam and Eve to give them their first commandments. Think of the Sabbath, the laws of purity and sacrifices. These commandments weren't human inventions. They came directly from the heavenly tablets. This suggests that the laws later written down by Moses had actually existed since the beginning of creation. Genesis tells us the familiar story of Adam and Eve, the creation, the Garden of Eden, the forbidden fruit, and the fall into sin. But Jubilees goes further. It reveals that Adam and Eve, after their creation, received direct instructions from God through angels. They were taught how to observe the Sabbath and how to offer sacrifices to remain connected to God. But as we know, things went wrong. The tragedy of Cain and Abel is described in even greater depth in Jubilees. Cain's murder of Abel was more than an act of jealousy. It was the first major transgression of God's laws. According to Jubilees, this sin had consequences not just for Cain, but for the entire creation, plunging it into chaos. Yet Jubilees offers hope. Seth, Adam's third son, is presented as a righteous man who remained faithful to God's commandments. His lineage became a symbol of hope and restoration, laying the foundation for figures like Noah and Abraham. The story of Noah and the flood is one of the most well-known accounts in the Bible. However, the Book of Jubilees unveils details you won't find anywhere else. While Genesis focuses on the physical destruction of a sinful world, Jubilees emphasizes the spiritual and cosmic consequences. Jubilees introduces the Nephilim, giants born from forbidden unions between fallen angels and human women. These hybrid beings spread chaos and introduced forbidden knowledge to humanity, leading God to cleanse the earth with the flood. But what happened next? According to Jubilees, God didn't just give Noah a fresh start. He reaffirmed the original commandments. This means Noah observed laws that had existed since Adam's time, such as the Sabbath and purity laws. Imagine this: the laws we often associate with Moses were already being followed thousands of years earlier. Abraham is a central figure in the Bible, the father of the faithful, but in Jubilees, he is more than that. The book portrays Abraham as a revolutionary who grew up in a world filled with idolatry. Even his own father, Terah, worshipped idols, but Abraham broke away from these traditions. In a dramatic moment, Abraham destroyed his father's idols and chose to serve the one true God. This act made him not only unique, but also the perfect example of devotion and faith. Jubilees further reveals that Abraham observed the Sabbath, offered sacrifices, and even followed other laws that are typically thought to have originated later in the Bible. Consider this: Abraham adhered to a system of laws and faith that was fully aligned with God's eternal plan. What does that say about our interpretation of the Bible? The rivalry between Jacob and Esau is one of the most dramatic stories in the Bible. However, the Book of Jubilees adds a new layer to this conflict. Jacob is portrayed as the embodiment of righteousness and faithfulness to God, while Esau symbolizes rebellion and a departure from the divine plan. This struggle goes beyond personal disputes. The book reveals how the descendants of Jacob and Esau, Israel and Edom, represent an ongoing spiritual battle. According to Jubilees, this war will ultimately culminate in a cosmic confrontation at the end of time. This theme of conflict and redemption elevates Jubilees beyond a historical text. It becomes a blueprint for the spiritual struggle that defines the world. The Book of Jubilees concludes with a breathtaking vision of the future, a prophetic glimpse that encompasses not only the history of Israel, but also the ultimate destiny of all humanity. Everything, the rise and fall of nations, Israel's exile and return, and even the coming of the Messiah, has been inscribed on the heavenly tablets since the beginning of creation. This is not just a list of predictions, but a divine blueprint, an unshakable plan that will unfold regardless of the chaos and rebellion in human history. These prophecies are not merely warnings, they are also promises of hope. They describe a time of purification when evil will be eradicated from the world, and redemption when humanity will once again live in harmony with divine laws. All of this prepares the way for the ultimate goal, the kingdom of God on earth. With the triumph over evil comes the moment of divine justice. The Book of Jubilees describes the end times as a period of judgment, where the righteous are rewarded and sinners are punished. Yet this judgment goes beyond mere punishment or reward. It is about restoring divine order. It is a moment when everything and everyone is set back in their rightful place, exactly as intended in God's perfect plan. For the righteous, those who have remained faithful to God's commandments and lived in harmony with His laws, this means a glorious future. They will inherit a place in the restored kingdom of God, a world free from suffering, pain, or injustice. But their reward extends beyond the material. It is a spiritual union with God, an eternal state of peace and bliss. For sinners, however, the outcome is far more severe. They will not only face punishment, but will also be cut off from the rest of creation. Their rebellion against the divine order will result in their complete destruction. While this may sound harsh, Jubilees emphasizes that the judgment is always just. No one is condemned arbitrarily. The book makes it clear that every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the ultimate outcome. Consequences of our choices, and if we're honest, what would happen if we stood before the throne of the final judge today? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know how you interpret these prophecies. After the triumph over evil and the moment of divine judgment, a new era begins, the Messianic era. This is a period where God's plan finally comes to full fruition. Jubilees describes this time as a phase of ultimate renewal, where the earth itself is restored to its original glory. This is not merely a spiritual realm, but also a physical reality in which God's laws are fully observed. During this time, the Messiah, God's anointed one, will reign over the earth. He is not only a leader, but also a mediator between God and humanity. His rule brings peace, not only among nations, but also between humanity and nature. Imagine a world where all conflicts are resolved, where animals and humans live in harmony, and where each day is dedicated to God's love and justice. Jubilees emphasizes that this era is not just a temporary phase. It is an eternal kingdom, an age where humanity finally lives in complete alignment with God's cosmic order. The Sabbath and the holy festivals will be reinstated, celebrated as they were originally intended, as moments of deep connection with the divine. Can you imagine what a day in that kingdom would look like? No worries about work or obligations, but a constant state of joy, peace, and connection. How would that change your life? Think about that as we delve deeper into these powerful prophecies. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Book of Jubilees is the concept of the heavenly tablets. These mythical records contain not only God's laws, but also a complete blueprint of creation and the history of humanity. Everything, from the creation of Adam to the coming of the Messiah and the ultimate triumph over evil, is inscribed on these tablets. But what does this mean for us? If everything is already written, do we truly have free will? Jubilees provides an intriguing answer. While God's plan is fixed, humans still have the choice of how they live their lives. Our choices determine whether we become part of that greater plan or fall outside of it. It's as though we are actors in a cosmic play, yet we have the freedom to decide how we perform our roles. This raises an important question. How are we living our lives today? Are we aware of the consequences of our choices? And if we're honest, what would happen if we stood before the throne of the final judge today? The heavenly tablets also serve as a reminder of the timelessness of God's laws. They do not change, regardless of time or circumstance. These laws are just as relevant today as they were in the days of Adam and Eve, Noah and Abraham. Jubilees calls on us to align our lives with these eternal laws because they hold the key to understanding our purpose in creation. The Book of Jubilees concludes with a hopeful and powerful promise, a world in perfect harmony. This world is not a human creation, nor a utopia built on political or social ideals. It is a divinely ordained reality where everything, from the smallest details to the greatest cosmic events, is perfectly aligned with God's will. In this world, there will be no place for sin, pain, or suffering. Everything broken by humanity's rebellion will be restored. Nature, human relationships, and even time itself will return to the perfect order in which they were originally created. But this promise comes with a challenge. Jubilees calls on us to act now, to align our lives with God's laws and the cosmic order. The book reminds us that every choice we make, no matter how small, has an impact on the greater plan. It challenges us to live with purpose, knowing that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. What does this mean for you? How can you take steps today to move closer to this perfect harmony? Share your thoughts in the comments and let others know how the powerful message of the Book of Jubilees has inspired you. What can we learn from Jubilees? The Book of Jubilees is more than an ancient text. It is a call to action, an invitation to reflect deeply on our place in creation and our relationship with God. It challenges us to not only consider what the Bible teaches, but also to explore what we might have overlooked. This text reveals that nothing in our lives is accidental. Every moment, every choice is woven into a greater plan that has existed since the beginning of time. It serves as a reminder that we do not exist for ourselves alone, but that we are part of an eternal story unfolding before our eyes. The Book of Jubilees was excluded from most biblical canons because it deviates theologically from traditional texts and is considered pseudepigraphical, meaning it was not written by its alleged author, Moses. These deviations and the uncertainty surrounding its origins led to the book being left out of the canonical scriptures by most Jewish and Christian traditions. Are you inspired by what you've heard? Do you feel called to dig deeper into these mysteries? Share your thoughts in the comments and share this video with others who, like you, are seeking greater meaning in their lives. Together, we can uncover the hidden layers of history and discover how to align our lives with God's eternal plan. Subscribe now, because this is just the beginning. The secrets of the past are waiting to be revealed, and you'll want to be part of it. Together, we can unravel the mysteries of the Book of Jubilees and other hidden treasures. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.